It's like a real war, but with spreadsheets. Hey there, folks. It seems like the only thing hotter than our planet right now is the sizzling trade war brewing between those two economic titans, the US and Europe. Forget drones and missiles, this battle is being waged with tariffs, those pesky taxes on imported goods, and trust me, these tariffs are about as welcome as a skunk at a picnic. Now I know what you're thinking, trade wars sounds boring, but hold your horses. This economic showdown could have a bigger impact on your life than you might think. We're talking about everything from the price of your next smartphone to whether your favorite European beer will be hit with the dreaded tariff tax. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to dive headfirst into the messy, complicated, and frankly terrifying world of trade wars. Think of it like a family argument over dinner. Everyone's got an opinion and no one's backing down. And who better to guide you through this economic minefield than yours truly, a man who once spent an entire segment explaining the thrilling intricacies of the World Trade Organization. Let's do this. To understand this transatlantic trade spat, we need to rewind the clock a bit. Back in the good old days of February 2025, former President Trump decided to slap a whopping 10% tariff on pretty much everything coming from China. Because, why not? But Trump, never one to discriminate in his tariff-imposing ways, also set his sights on Europe. He was fuming about the U.S. trade deficit with the EU, which had ballooned to a hefty $213 billion. An atrocity, he thundered, probably while tweeting from a gold-plated toilet. And just like that, the tariff tornado started swirling. Europe, not one to back down from a good old-fashioned economic brawl, retaliated with tariffs of their own. Remember those Harley-Davidson motorcycles and Jack Daniel's whiskey? Yeah, they got hit with the tariff stick. The moral of the story? Trade wars can start over the smallest things, like who gets the last piece of cake. Don't mess with Europe's booze or hogs. Now, Europe isn't exactly a united front. They've got their own internal squabbles and dramas, kind of like a never-ending episode of Real Housewives of Brussels. But when it comes to trade wars, they know how to circle the wagons. The EU leaders, who are probably very tired of explaining to their constituents why their morning coffee just got more expensive, are understandably freaking out. They're warning that this trade war could send their already fragile economies into a tailspin. And let's not forget the impact on regular folks. European farmers who are already struggling are staring down the barrel of tariffs on their food exports. Imagine a world where French wine and Italian cheese become luxury items. It's enough to make you weep into your baguette. It's like Harleys and Jacks, the cool kids in school suddenly having to sit together at lunch. Awkward, right? If there's one industry that's feeling the trade war heat more than others, it's the auto sector. Cars these days are basically rolling jigsaw puzzles of parts sourced from all over the globe. And guess what happens when you slap tariffs on those parts? Yep, prices go up and away. We're talking about the price of a new car in the US potentially skyrocketing by $3,000. And it's not just American consumers who will feel the pinch. European car makers, who rely heavily on exports to the US, are sweating bullets at the thought of their sales plummeting faster than a Tesla on autopilot. So, if you're in the market for a new set of wheels, you might want to hold off for a bit, or, just embrace the joys of public transportation, because this trade war is bumpier than a roller coaster ride. Section 5. Farmers under fire. A bumper crop of trouble. Remember those European farmers we talked about earlier? Yeah, well, their situation is about as rosy as a moldy tomato. Tariffs on their food exports mean they're stuck with a mountain of unsold goods. And what happens when there's too much of something? Prices plummet faster than a pigeon escaping a hungry cat. That's bad news for farmers, who are already struggling to make ends meet. But hey, at least we'll have plenty of cheap brie and Bordeaux, right? Well, not so fast. While European farmers are drowning in surplus, American consumers might actually end up paying more for their food. See, those tariffs work both ways. So, that Mexican avocado you love in your morning toast, yep, that's about to get pricier too. European farmers are having more trouble than a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Section 6. Tech Tussle Innovation in the Crosshairs. The tech industry, that shining beacon of innovation and progress, isn't immune to the trade war fallout either. Imagine a world where the latest smartphones are about as affordable as a private island. That's the dystopian future we're facing if the US goes full throttle on restricting high-tech exports. Not only will this hurt American tech giants, but it could also stifle innovation on both sides of the pond. After all, the best ideas often emerge from collaboration, not isolation. So, the next time your phone takes forever to load, you can thank the trade war gods. Innovation is in the crosshairs, like a tech geek at a sports event. Section 7, Inflation Nation, your wallet's worst nightmare. Remember that old saying, money doesn't grow on trees? Well, it turns out that tariffs can actually make money disappear faster than a politician's promise. See, those pesky tariffs have a nasty habit of fueling inflation, which is basically when prices go up faster than your salary. Some experts are predicting that inflation in the US could skyrocket from a manageable 2.9% to a wallet-wilting 4% thanks to this trade war. That means everything from groceries to gas to that overpriced latte you can't live without will cost you more. So, next time you're at the grocery store staring at the price of milk, just remember you can thank the trade war for that. And trust me, your wallet is more scared than a kid in a horror movie. Section 8. Can we just all get along, please? With all this talk of economic doom and gloom, you're probably wondering if there's any hope for a peaceful resolution to this transatlantic trade spat. Well, European leaders, who are probably really tired of dealing with this mess, are desperately hoping for a diplomatic solution. They want to sit down with their American counterparts, share a baguette or two, and hammer out a deal that works for everyone. Maybe what they really need is a big group hug to sort things out, but with the political climate being what it is, who knows if cooler heads will prevail. It's entirely possible that this trade war could drag on for months, if not years, leaving a trail of economic carnage in its wake. Section 9. Conclusion, a glimmer of hope in a sea of tariffs. So there you have it, folks, a crash course in the wild world of trade wars. It's messy, it's complicated, and it has the potential to impact all of our lives in ways we can't even imagine. But hey, let's not lose hope just yet. Finding hope in a sea of tariffs might feel like finding a needle in a haystack, but it's there. As history has shown time and time again, even the most bitter of rivals can find common ground when they realize it's in their best interest to do so. So, let's raise a glass of hopefully not too expensive European wine to the possibility of a brighter, tariff-free future. Cheers to that.